Hey, what's going on, guys? Kenzie here. In this video I'd like to share a Korean grammar pearl I came up with not very long time ago, which actually served me as a pivot point in the entire language learning, believe it or not. So after kind of mastering this sort of a technique, I really feel like much more freedom in terms of some opportunity, in terms of some kind of opportunities to build some Korean sentences on my own. So the idea is very simple. So as a Korean learner, as a total beginner, I've encountered an issue like there are too many tutorials on how to build up Korean sentences that do contain subject, time, place, object, adverb, and verb. However, it's not really that clear to figure out how to connect two verbs in a single sentence in order to say things like I want to know, I want to see, I need to go, I'm going to watch, and sorry, just typo here, and say things more complicated like I've been living. So like two verbs. So what's the same in all of these sentences? They all have kind of two verbs. And in this video in particular, we're going to be translating these kind of sentences in Korean using the only single grammar pattern, which is extremely easy to use, which is very, very kind of like it's applicable for really like most cases of life, I would say. That's the reason why I love it. So it doesn't rely on the fact like say what the verb stem kind of ends up with. Either this is the vowel or the consonant, so it doesn't matter really. So it's really kind of, I think it's kind of like a must-have grammar pearl that every Korean learner should be aware of. So without further ado, let's actually go. So here is my setup. I have a list of words of the sentences we're going to be translated. Here is the separate window, which is like browser, opening my Korean sentence builder tool, which looks like a little bit like a calculator, but it allows you to type Hangul characters using either a screen keyboard or the physical keyboard. I would be using the physical keyboard because that's just a little bit faster, but well, Google Translate is trivial, but to make things a bit even more faster, I would be relying on my on another tool that I've coded for kind of learning purposes, and this is the auto-generated vocabulary containing more than 5,000 of the most essential Korean words, like to form the basic vocabulary. So this would help me to easily come up with the conjugated forms in regards to tenses. I usually type this on my own, but just to save you time, guys, I would be using this pre-coded kind of things. I'm sorry for using this word coding because I'm a programmer, and that's the way how I used to. That's the word I used to use. I used to use quite pretty a lot. So just to save you time, I would be using this kind of like conjugated tenses. Even though I can't do that on my own, but again, like I just type in Korean, like kind of too long. So just to save you time. Okay, guys. So without further ado, let's actually start. So those verbs and those words that I know how to spell them, I would be typing, but those I don't, I would be referencing my kind of like my database. So let's go for it. So the very first thing, I want to know. So let's drop the know. So I want, I subject, want verb. So we have the subject, we have the verb. So I will be using the informal high polite form. So I will say just 저는, and want would be 싶어 or 싶어요. So here is how this is spelled. So I'm sorry, 싶어요. So I want. And now, what if we want to say I want to know? So the way how we did this intuitively once is actually like to I was just trying to add the verb stem and nothing else. That was my initial kind of like logical consideration of how to proceed. But we actually need to use this go. I'm not sure whether it should be treated as the particle or something, and then we can put the stem before this go. So to know in Korean would be 알다, if I'm not mistaken. So let me quickly check so I can reference all the verbs. And actually, let me just get rid of this one. So here are the verbs. Well, actually, it's better to search like to know. Yeah, 알다. So this is the dictionary form, and what I mean by saying verb stem, it's everything that goes before ta. So let's say for actually it's a bit strange. For don't know, it should be 몰라요, but doesn't matter. So everything that if we have this is just treated to be a noun. Yeah, probably it can be used as a noun as well, but it's not the case. So when we have the type of verb and we have it ended up with da, then everything that goes before this da should be treated as the verb stem, and this is the exact thing that we actually need to use when we go into to say things like I want to do something. Okay, so I just used this one copy, so al, actually can type it on my own, it's not a big deal really, and I can simply say algo 싶어요. 저는 알고 싶어요. So I want to know. And let's actually verify our sentence using the Google Translate. So I want to know, quite pretty clear. Okay, let's move further on. So the next one would be I want to see you. And meanwhile, what literally translated as I want to see you also might be meaning I miss you, which is the case of the Google Translate, by the way. But literally what we're gonna be doing is trying to say I want to see you. So I want remains the same, so I can safely just copy this sort of a thing, and go remains the same, but I need to say boda. So to see in Korean would be boda, but we need only the verb stem, so bo, and this is how it's done. So I want to see you, but again, Google will translate this as I miss you, because that's another case. But yeah, I want to see is another option, by the way. So here is how it works. Okay, now let's go to somewhat a little bit different in terms of, so it's clear regarding I want, but we can actually change this sort of a main, as I call it, primary verb by something else. So let's say I need to go. So I need, I is the subject and need is the verb. So I can simply say like 저는 and 저는, and to need in Korean would be 필요. So if I only remember how properly to write this, 필요, I think like this. But it's not this, like, okay, hold on a sec, guys. I'm sorry, I totally forgot how that is spelled properly. So needs, yeah, actually like this, but it's as the noun. 필요. Oh, 필요하다. It's here it's as an adjective, but so this would be 필요해, like this. So I would say 필요해, and this should be translated as I need. Okay, I need, and then what I need. So to go in Korean would be 가다 in its basic form. In present, it's just enough to say ga, and here it is. So ga, and this go. I don't know if I can call it particle. Probably this should be treated as a particle. So 저는 가고 필요해요. 저는 가고 필요해요. So this should be treated as I need to go. I need to go. Awesome. And now let's try a bit different stuff. So things like I'm going to watch YouTube video. And this one is interesting because I'm going, so we would be using the verb 가다 in order to make this kind of equivalent of I'm going. So it's not a literal translation. The literal translation, well, actually, I'm going is quite pretty literal as well. So I'm going, like I will go, or It's really hard to go for this direct translation when it comes to Korean versus English. But anyway, so we can say 저는. So 저는. And 갈 거예요 is the future form of the verb to go. So let me quickly type this. So 갈 거예요. I really hope I did this properly. So let's verify. So this should be something like I will go or I'm going. Yeah, it's actually translates as I'm going. Yeah, a little typo. Sorry guys. These are the things that I usually still missing them. So 갈 거예요. Okay, and I can make it like so. I'm going, and now what am I going to be doing? So I'm going to watch. So I can use the 보고 at the same time. So just say 보고. So this should be treated as I'm going to watch. So let's quickly check this out. So, well, I'm going to see, yeah, so because 보다 is like to see, to watch, to look, maybe to have a look at, or 봐주세요, like please have a look. Again, like another example of taking two verbs together, like 봐 is to like see, plus see, and 주세요, like please, or literally 주다 is to give. So 봐주세요, like please give a look. This would be something like please give a look, just to give you an idea what am I talking about. So if you just say like 봐주세요, please take a look. 봐주세요. So we have one verb and literally we have another verb. So we just split this. So this would be look, and this would be well, I'm not sure why it's actually translated as wake. It should be to give, by the way. 주다, give. Yeah, so 주다 is to give, right? To look, to give. Let's make it the basic dictionary form to avoid any confusions. Yeah, so this is it. And this is just a polite ending, so we don't really need this. So that's another example. Okay, so now we need to add a bit of a details to this sort of a sentence. So I'm going to watch. Now we have this, but what exactly? So video, right? And here we can use Konglish. So this means like Korean words spelled, English words spelled with the Hangul characters. So video would turn to video, like this. Okay. And as far as this is the object, we can also use the object marking particle. In this case, it ends with a vowel, so this would be 를. So 저는 비디오를 보고 갈 거예요. 저는 비디오를 보고 갈 거예요. So I'm gonna be watching the video. So I'm going to watch the video. And now to give a little bit more of an idea, like what kind of video? So I'm gonna be watching a YouTube video. And this is another Konglish, so we can simply say like YouTube. So literally mimics like. So I'm going to watch YouTube video. Copy, and here it is. So I'm going to watch a YouTube video. So this is kind of it. And finally, one of my favorite tenses in English to say, to be honest, like perfect continuous tense. So when we're talking about something that has been going in the past, and it was continuous, right? So this is the tense. However, in Korean, in order to actually get this sort of a translation, we can use this kind of same structure. And this is quite pretty interesting. So this sentence is one of the most kind of interesting and intriguing things I came up with while preparing for this video. So here it is. So we can simply say 저는, and to make this kind of past sort of a thing, we'll use the verb to come, 오다, in the past tense. It would be 왔어요, but I don't remember how to spell it properly. So let me reference my database of those basic Korean words. So I don't need come out. So instead of naoda, I'll just use oda, and here 왔어요. 왔어요. Yeah, 왔어요. So like oda, like boda. Yeah, and 왔어요 and 왔어요. Okay, cool. So 왔어요, and this is it. So sorry, just take away this. So I came, literally. Okay, so I came. This is kind of it. So we have this. Well, actually, yeah, it translates I'm here, but literally this means like I came. This should be I came. Yeah, here it is. So the next thing is we need to use this sort of a structure. So the verb stem for to leave, and then the go. So, oh my god, shame on me, but I forgot how to say to leave. I don't remember. Oh my god, I don't remember. How could I forget that? So let's quickly search for leave. Oh, salda. Yeah, salda. So copy this sal. Yeah, sada is to buy, or sorry, to pay apparently, but salda is to leave. It's very similar. Okay, so salgo, like this, and this would be already something like I have been living. I have been living. You see, like this perfect continuous comes. So you just have a look. So literally, I came to live, right? Literally, like I came to live. But meanwhile, it's like being translated as I have been living, right? So now let's add a little bit of details. So we need in Korea. By the way, I haven't been living in Korea, and I really doubt that I would be ever. I'm not even trying to do that. But anyway, just because I know how to say Korea in Korean, that's the reason why I pick up this word. I know how to say Korea, Hanguk, and America, Mikuk. So that's the reason. Okay, so in Korea is the place, so it should be placed after the subject but before the verb. So here we can simply say Hanguk, which means Korea, Hanguk. And in Korea, we need to use a particle that which, so the particle is so. So this is how it's spelled. So so. This means like in Korea, like it might be used like from Korea. So it's like a particle to mark the place. Let's say 집에서, like it would be like at home. But here, like it would be like in Korea. So some the particle that tells that where kind of like how to say this, a place-related particle that regards to to the certain place, whether it's in or at or from. So it might take different values. So this should be translated as I've been living in Korea. Okay. So I've been living in Korea, and now to give even more details. So we can actually add the time specifier, okay? So, and to say 1 year in Korean, this is relatively simple. So one would be 일, just like the work, by the way. Yeah, sounds the same. So 일 and 년 is the year. And if I did everything correctly, this should be translated as I've been living in Korea for a year. I've been living okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm living well actually, yeah, so here is the deal. Yeah, when I've been preparing for this video, I make it like this. Hold on a sec. Oh, probably no, I'm sorry guys, I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Yeah, that's probably I just misspelled something. Well, it happens quite pretty often. So 1 year, so 일년, or maybe I missed something. 1 year. Okay, 일년. Yeah, well, this is strange. 저는 한국에서 1년 살고 왔어요. What am I doing wrong? This is a bit sorry. This is a bit strange. Yeah, I've lived in Korea for a year, but probably this is because I'm using the came in the past tense. I'm not sure though. So if I just use it in the present, so just just like while. Oh guys, sorry, shame on me. Just hold on a sec. I need to figure out what am I doing wrong. Okay, sorry guys, just probably some typos or something. So here is the same structure, and yeah, here it is. So yeah, we actually use subject, then time. So like 1 year, it's time. 1년. 한국에서 place, then the object. Well, actually, yeah. Sorry. It's place and the object. Meanwhile, so yeah, it's like it's place from the meaning perspective, but from the grammar perspective, in Korea, this is the object. So like, but yeah, it's really hard to say. I don't even know. So eventually, we have 저는 1년 한국에서 살고 왔어요. 저는 1년 한국에서 살고 왔어요. 저는 1년 한국에서 살고 왔어요. I've been living in Korea for 1 year. Well, okay guys, so I think this is it from my side. Well, again, like don't rely too much on this sort of information, because again, like as a total beginner in Korean, I might be making some horrible mistakes, but I just wanted to give you an idea how powerful this verb stem plus go is when you're trying to build Korean sentences containing two verbs in particular. So for me personally, this was kind of a pivot point that actually kind of like if I had wings, I would fly. So if I knew more words, I feel like I will just now start talking in Korean. It's also if I could, if my pronunciation was a little bit better, because when I read this with my eyes, I kind of do recognize the patterns. I do capture those. I kind of like, you see, like I can't compose this. I feel quite pretty natural while composing, even though the sentences are dumb, rude, weird, etc. But still, it feels like the flow starts getting in, and again, like if I just had wings, I would fly. So same with this. I really hope to learn some more words, and I really need to practice pronunciation a little bit more. But this kind of sentence building practice is the real foundation for me personally. So I think that's like one of the most important things to consider, and that's the reason why I do practice it so much, and that's the reason why I've created this helper kind of apps, like a software, to practice this sort of a thing, and so on. So this is how I learn Korean. So nothing special really, and I really hope this kind of video helps you and motivates you. Especially, I hope this would motivate you guys. So that's kind of it. So one last thing, yeah, because before we just end, if you have a look at the playlist on Komakiken's channel, in particular Learning Practice Korean, you can see my progress from absolute beginner to the level that I'm currently at. So by the time when you would be watching this video, this hopefully would be a little bit better compared to how I know this. How I know something about Korean at the moment. Well, okay guys, so this is it from my side. 이거 비디오에서 감사합니다. Thanks for watching this video. So I really hope to see you in the next ones. Until that time, and take care.